Hello, hello, and I'm back for another episode of Success Scopes. I hope everybody had a wonderful, fantastic Labor Day weekend. I know some people still had to work, but for those that did, they enjoyed some downtime, relaxing, not doing too much shopping. Just had a great overall, blessed, wonderful weekend. But we're back here. Hello, Carolyn Farron says she got the message that we had switched to Tuesday this week. I took my downtime day, but actually I was working on getting some, you've heard me talk about getting some of the hard stuff done, some of those projects that we always put off, and I worked on a couple of those this weekend, knocking those out, getting it done. You know, I have to say, and it's just like I've talked about, it feels really good when you get those hard tasks out of the way. But glad to be here for another episode of Success Scopes. And again, we've been talking about that thief of the night, that thing, you know, that's what I call it. But it's that lack of sleep, that sleep deprivation. So, for those who are watching for the first time, my name is Carolyn Owens, and I am the chairwoman and CEO of Infinity Coaching Incorporated, where we help you up-level your skills so you can up-level your income. And we're here normally every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, where we provide some tips and strategies that help you stay motivated, focused, and move you forward during the week for your career, your business, and your life. And then we come back on Fridays for Follow-Up Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, where we do a quick check-in before the weekend, see if you implemented any of the skills and strategies, and just do a quick check-in and see how things are going. But typically our scopes last no more than 15 minutes, and we try to keep Fridays down to 10 minutes, but just kind of start you off on the weekend right. And we do that because you've already got so much information coming at you all the time. So we just kind of do a quick, tip strategy that'll keep you, like I said, motivated and focused. And we've been talking again about that thief in that other night, sleep deprivation. So last time I was here, we kind of started talking about some of the strategies, things that you can do. We've already talked about the signs. We've talked about the impact, because a lot of us are in denial, and we think that we're getting enough sleep, and we don't truly understand the impact that lack of sleep causes on our lives, on our bodies, our overall health. And it's so funny, since I've been talking about a lot of this, I've seen other people, when you tune in and you start hearing them now, that it is definitely a major topic. I've seen some big names talking about, Ariana Huffington talks about it. That's just to name one person, but it's been, very hot topic lately about getting enough sleep. And I think Dr. Christine Northrup, she also talks about it as well. So it's really something to think about it and how it impacts us. As I said, our health, our body, and our just overall well-being. And some of the things that we talked about last time were about sun exposure. If so many of us work in the offices and buildings with no lights, and being able to get some of that natural sunlight and how that affects your sleep cycles. And talked about the temperature of your room and trying to keep it cool enough, not too hot, not too cool, but typically 65, 70 degrees or so. That way you'll have that nice, relaxing kind of temperature that will help you get into sleep mode. And we definitely talked about sleeping with the TV on, or having a cell phone or laptop where you can see it, especially with the blue light that the cell phone or the laptop emits. And having one of those apps that will gradually turn it down so you don't see that that blue light emitting and messing up again that sleep pattern and your brain functioning. We mentioned getting up in the middle of the night, that if you do get up in the middle of the night and you have the night lights or something that's guiding you, try to make it one of those yellow or yellow or orange, or say even a soft red light, because that affects your brain and how you function differently, and it won't really interfere with your sleep pattern. If you have one of those, typical lights or even a blue light, that will throw off your sleep pattern. And so that's something to think about. Or you can have, I've showed you my salt lamp that emits the perfect kind of yellow-orange light that creates that nice mood. And the other one was a fitness tracker we mentioned, because the fitness tracker can measure your sleep pattern for you and see what type of sleep you're getting. Because a lot of you may think that you're getting that good, deep quality sleep, but you may just be tossing and turning in the bed and not really getting sleep. But if you have sleep apnea or you have some type of sleep disorder, you may have that CPAP machine. And the CPAP machine will definitely measure your sleep pattern. It has the card in there, the reader, but make sure you're actually looking at it. You know, a lot of people will get that CPAP machine and it just sits there and they never have it evaluated. And if you're seeing a doctor, you should be going back at least once a year to be evaluated and see how your settings are with the machine and everything. So definitely be following up on that. So I got some new ones for you today, some things that you can try to help you get the sweet sleep you need. Just things that you can do with the environment in your room. And one of the things is aromatherapy. I don't know if you've ever seen like, I believe it's the doTERRA and Young Living. They have the diffusers. I actually have one, I should have showed it to you, that emits the aromas for you. And you can do lavender is one that works very well. And you can also take the lavender essential oils and you put it on your temples before you go to bed, and how the smell affects the brain activity, and how especially lavender has, it's supposed to have a sleeping inducing effect. And you look at a lot of the baby products, when you think about the kids that don't sleep at night, it has lavender mixed in it, and that scent's supposed to help them kind of soothe the kids, the babies. But not lavender, also try chamomile. I know you've heard people talk about drinking chamomile tea before they go to bed at night, and that's the last little relaxing thing. But also the oils and the smells, that aromatherapy, try chamomile and lavender are two of the best ones. And what you can do, if you have one of the spray bottles, you can mix it with the essential oil with some water, and then kind of spray it on your pillowcase and a little bit on the bed there, and then go ahead and get into bed and let that kind of, that aroma, that smell, kind of get you in that relaxing mood. So aromatherapy, that's one to try. And on Friday I'll bring my diffuser over so you'll see it. It's way across the room, or else I go grab it now. But you can see what it looks like and how it kind of fills up the room with the smell before you're going to bed. And you have a way you can set it that it will, you know, come in spurts or just continue to come out. So I'll show it to you. And another one is sound. And sound, you know, you want that nice quiet space that's good for sleeping. But if you know, some houses will have those noises and you can hear everything. You could use one of the white noise the boxes, or you can have a fan. They've got some of the devices now that are like just programmed, and they make like waterfall sounds or this soft, mellow, kind of relaxing sounds, and you just hit the button. You can set the timer and you can fall asleep to that. Or they have even the meditation or relaxing CDs that you put in that has this nice kind of sound that's very tranquil, and it'll just kind of put you to sleep. But if that way you can kind of block out, especially living in the city, if you're near an airport or near a train and you want to kind of block those sounds out to help you sleep better, have one of those. I think it's called the white noise canceller. I'm not 100% sure, but also one of those. It's almost like, often like a little clock, and you just hit the buttons and has all of those different sounds on those soothing sounds. They work as well. Or if you have too much noise going on, you know, especially you say you have 5, 6 brothers and sisters, some of you guys know that from growing up, you can always put earplugs in your ears, and that can kind of cancel things out. We talked before, I think, about putting the iPads, the eye mask over your eyes, and you can also put earplugs in. You'll probably really get some good sleep then. Another one to think about is your mattress and your pillow. You know, if we don't think that mattresses have that life expectancy, but after so many years, it's just not going to feel the same. You know, it's typically 9 to 10 years that after that you want to kind of exchange it. Or you've seen people where they'll have the mattress and then every so often they flip it over. You know, that way it doesn't kind of, it has the longevity, you know, it lasts longer just flipping it over. But typically 9 to 10 years. And is your mattress really comfortable? Because sometimes we'll go for that cheap mattress, but then as you get older you realize that cheap mattress just ain't working no more. Or, you know, really think about it. When you get in bed tonight, does this feel good to me? Is this mattress too lumpy? Has it gotten to the point where you feel some kind of coil sticking in your back? Then it's time for it to go. But also think about your pillows in terms of what type of pillows you're using. For me, I cannot use any pillows with any kind of feathers in them. You know, is this something that's irritating your allergies, that may be keeping you up at night and you don't realize what's actually in the pillow? Because I know there are certain ones that I cannot use. So think about it in terms of your allergies, the comfort. You want it to be, your pillows in your bed to be like very inviting, attractive, that you know, I'm going to feel so good when I lay down in this bed. And so that you just want to kind of slip in and fall to sleep and be relaxed. And I know we talked about the temperature of the room, but also think if you're the type of person that has very cold hands and feet, you know, put some socks on before you get into bed, because if you can regulate that temperature with your feet, you tend to fall asleep faster. And they have actually done research studies on this one. I mean, all of it's pretty much been studied, but this one I thought that, you know, they were actually testing people with cold feet to put their socks on before they went to bed. So, and see how it turned out. And they timed it to see, and they did fall asleep faster once they put the socks on. So that's something to try. And we're talking about environment again, the environment in your room. Think about the color of the walls in your room. Are they, you know, a nice, calm, relaxing color, which typically is your yellow or your blue? You know, that's something simple that you can try to kind of just create that environment. Is again, you have the nice, comfortable bed with the pillows. You got the aromatherapy going on, and you can even got the, you know, nice, smooth, kind of calm music playing. And then you think about the color of the room, you know, and you just come on in there and kind of like we said before, what's the bedroom for? Two things: sex and sleeping. So create that nice relaxing environment where you really enjoy staying in there. And I'll add one more. I typically do 5, but this was another one that I was thinking about, that you hear, you know, 2 different sides to this one all the time. If you're laying in bed and you can't sleep, do you get out of bed or do you just stay in bed? You know, I've seen recommendations where you should just actually kind of stay in bed. That I don't think typically works for a lot of people. Most people end up getting out of bed. But when they say stay in bed, it's the belief that once you get up, you kind of stimulated yourself some more, you're walking around, you start doing things, and it's going to be even harder to go back to bed. But if you get out of bed because you got so much going on that you're just going to lay there, you're restless, then you're taken away. Okay, what's the bed for? You know, so you're just staying awake in there. You're not going to go back to sleep. So you can also, if you find yourself getting up like this and you're waking up like this and you can't go back to sleep, you may have all these thoughts going through your head and you're thinking, okay, take and have a journal by your bed and just kind of start jotting down these thoughts that are coming up. You know, what have you been thinking about? What's keeping you awake at night? I will tell you, I know some friends that always had their idea books, and that is where their best ideas were created. When they woke up in the middle of the night and they just started writing it down. And I will tell you, they have been very successful with those ideas. You know, I've been doing it myself lately, just the other day. I know an article that I want to write about. I couldn't get off my mind, and I had to get up and start just writing down the notes for this article before I lost it, because I haven't done that before, where I didn't get up and write it down, and I could not remember. And what I wanted to write about, because I told you guys I love to write. I've been writing a lot more lately, and I lost it, and I was so like, God, this was going to be a perfect chapter in a book. And so it's easy to get up, have that journal beside you, and go ahead and write down those notes and figure out, okay, you know, this is my idea. Or it could be just journaling or getting that burden off of you, that thought that's weighing you down. Go ahead and write it down. And it could be something that you don't have to show anybody. You could just get it off your chest, write it down, and burn the paper, throw it away, tear it up. But you've gotten it off your mind, and then you can kind of go ahead and rest and get some sleep. So it's something to think about. You know, try one of these new 6 kind of strategies that can get rid of that thief of the night, you know. And again, it's the thief of the night because what lack of sleep deprivation can do to you, what it can take from you. It can interfere with your relationships, your communication, your career, your business, everything. But we don't think about it, you know. But small little adjustments, natural things that we can do, get us off that medication. You know, I told you, African American women, you know, we're at a high risk for heart disease. And, you know, it's associated, sleep deprivation is associated with heart disease. So if you don't have to take that medication with all the side effects and everything, just by tweaking a few things in your life, I think it's worth it. So thanks for being here for another episode of Success Scopes. We will be back Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, where we're going to do our weekly wrap-up. I call it Follow-Up Friday, where we're going to touch base, see how you've been, if you've tried any of the things we talked about today. To keep the conversation going, I invite you to join us in our free Facebook group, our community, which if you go to infinitycoaching.net/community, you'll go straight to the group. Well, that's your invitation to go in. Or you can go to infinitycoaching.net/free community. And that's where you can find out all about the group, what we do there. Right now, we have about 50 people in the group, but it's a very strong professional group. Great people to be connected to who are doing some awesome things. We've got nurses, we've got writers, we've got all different categories of people from all across the globe, and literally all across the globe who are participating in the group. Men, women, it's a great group. Like I said, I'm very proud to be associated with the people there. If you have any questions, feedback, email me at cowens@infinitycoaching.net. And again, thanks for being here for another episode of Success Scopes. And until next time, here's to your success. See ya. Have an awesome, blessed week.